So Sage just made a pretty impressive debut at Champions Tour 2025 Stage 1, and let's look at some of the walls that were used by Fnatic. Although they lost this match, let's look at some of the walls that were used by Sage. But before we do that, say hello to our assistant Sage. So the first wall is at default on B site. So as you can see, KO's Molly is going to kill Wingman here, and Kayak grabs the spike and throws a straight wall for cover, and then he plants the spike safely underneath. Now this one is pretty dangerous because you are exposed to top site as well as Snowman, and thankfully because he has amazing aim, he is able to fight his way out, and as a result they do win that round. So let's talk about placement of this wall. So from the looks of it, it is a simple straight wall that you throw at default. It's going to look something like this. Now when you plant the spike, make sure you turn away from the wall so you don't break the wall. Now if you are going to use this wall in game, keep in mind that you are going to be exposed to top site as well as Snowman as you're retreating, so make sure that one of your teammates is holding these angles. Now it's also worth noting that chances are somebody is going to be holding from orange or somewhere in this area, so this wall could be destroyed immediately in your games. But what it will also do is it'll force the defenders to retake at these angles, and if they are going to come through orange, they have to destroy your wall before they can do that, and that's a lot of information given. Now the other wall that was used was a simple straight wall at Snowman just like this, and again this one isn't necessarily bad because it does block a lane and it allows your team to focus on the spike as well as only mid or top site. Now Kayak also used a simple straight wall at Boiler. This gave him a nice boost and he was able to shoot the enemy Killjoy in the back. Now this one is really simple. You throw a straight wall, it will boost you on top of Boiler, and you should be able to get anybody watching that angle. Now from the other side, it's going to look something like this. Chances are you're going to be watching this lane. You're not going to be watching this angle up here. Now there were only two walls that were used on attacker side for A site. The first one is a simple straight wall at screens. Now the reason for this is because it does block a lane. It also allows you to focus at this angle, and if anybody does come through screens, they have to destroy your wall, which again is a lot of information given. But take note, if you are going to place this wall, you are pretty deep into sight and it could be dangerous. However, it did seem like this was the preferred wall that they placed on attack, and this is the wall that they played around. Final note on this wall. So in this round, Fnatic is going to execute onto A site again. They do get the wall placed at screens, and while Sage and Gecko were trying to plant the spike at default, you're going to see that Sage dies here, and as soon as Gecko plants the spike, he dies as well, and because they had a Viper that was playing late from B site, the wall actually prevented her from defending the spike. Now the second wall that they tried to use was a diagonal wall up against the generator. This will allow the attackers to plant in the corner. Even with the Viper ult activated, they tried this wall. So because the wall was instantly destroyed, Wingman is going to plant the spike underneath the rope instead. Now through all of the chaos, it's currently a 2v2, and Crashies makes an incredible play here. He gets the last two and he saves the defusal. This was probably the best round of the match. So here's how you place this wall. Jump on the ledge and rotate your wall. Make sure that the left side is covered and the right side leaves you a little opening to plant the spike. This should allow you to safely plant the spike, but remember, face away from the wall so you don't break it once you plant the spike. However, after you plant the spike, make sure that somebody's covering your rafters because you are vulnerable from that angle. Now let's move on to defender walls, but staying on A site. So the first wall that I wanted to show you was a wall on top of the generator. As you can see, Kayak is holding an extremely high off angle, and as Gecko enters A main, he's not going to expect that Kayak is up there and he dies immediately, and then he does hop off of that angle. Now this wall is not easy to execute. If you are new to Sage, you may have to practice this a few times. So essentially you jump on top of the generator, but you crouch at the last second, and you can place a wall underneath your feet. And what this will do is it will give you an extremely high off angle into A main, but even then you have to be quick. Now if you're not able to make that jump, or if you're on console, here's a different variation of the wall. If you throw a straight wall up against this wall right here, it will give you this angle into A main. And as you can see, you can still hit them pretty easily from this angle. Now the reason why this one is also good is because people that are coming through A main typically aren't aiming at this specific angle. Even if they are aiming at the generator, they're aiming a little bit higher from where you're sitting. So again, this is a really good angle to use once or twice per game. Now before we get to the last wall, I just wanted to share a cool stat that they showed, and that stat is that Sage has the third highest win rate, which is 51.4% of all agents on Icebox in VCT. So that should tell you that this is one of Sage's stronger maps. So the last wall that we'll talk about about is the snowman wall, and this wall is really good for defending B default. As you can see, this gives you an extremely high off angle for anyone trying to plant the spike. It's also a pretty safe wall because the attackers aren't expecting you up here. Now let's talk about how you place it, because there's 3 different variations of this wall. Now keep in mind, we call this the snowman wall because there's a snowman right here. Now the first variation of this wall is simple. It's a straight wall. Make sure it's lined up just like this. And what this will do is it will give you a perfect angle into B main as well as behind yellow. And the best part about this angle is that, let's say you have to fall off, you can jump on the oil drum and then jump back on top of the wall. This is really helpful if you need to reposition. So the second variation of this wall is right here. This one is similar because you can shoot into B main and you can shoot behind yellow, but where this one is different, you can shoot way behind yellow, even up against this wall. So this one gives you a much wider angle to shoot, but unlike the first one, you can't hop back on it. And let's look at the last one. This one was the one that was actually used in the video clip. If you stand on top of the oil drum, you can rotate your wall and it will extend up against the back wall. And what this will do is it will boost you and give you an extremely high off angle for anybody trying to plant the spike. Now you can be shot from on top of the container, but if you move forward, you should be able to see anybody running in. Now for me personally, I don't like this one because it doesn't give you as much versatility as the other two. But again, this one is still very effective. Now this is what it looks like from the other side. So if you're standing in B main, as you can see, Sage is visible from this angle. So it's not like they can't see you. It's just this isn't the first angle that they're going to be aiming when they turn this corner. And just like how you can shoot them, they can shoot you as well. Now from behind yellow, this one is a little bit more tricky because people typically aren't aiming this angle. So even though you are visible, you should be pretty safe here to take the first 1 or 2 shots before they can return fire. Now a final note on the wall that was used in the video. In most scenarios, this lane right here is smoked off or something is covering it, but if it's not, keep in mind that they can see your wall as soon as they turn the corner. And once they do, they'll definitely know that you're up there. Now before you go, let's take a look at one round on Icebox that I did have today. So in this video, we're going to execute onto B site for Icebox. Keep in mind, this is Ascendant rank. In this video, we're going to execute onto B site. The plan is that Viper is going to grab the orb and she's going to ult. We currently have a chamber that was lurking on A side as well, but unfortunately he dies. However, we're still in pretty good shape. It's a 5v4. Now because Killjoy did have her molly set up at the default location, I switch up my wall, I throw a diagonal wall and plant it in that corner right there. Now Killjoy is going to drop her ult, but thankfully Silva had his, so he does destroy it right away. And as you can see, it's currently a 3v4. And then as Reyna enters the gas, Viper is going to get her, and now it's a 3v3. Now because of how the ult is placed, I have a perfect hiding spot here behind yellow. You're going to see that Jet enters and she doesn't see me at all, so we do get her right away. As Silva tries to trade, we're going to get him as well, and then we secure the round right there. So there you have it, all of the walls that were used by Fnatic against Team Liquid on Icebox. I hope you found this video to be useful. Please like and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. And as I get more into creating long form content, please let me know what you would like to see, and let's build this together. Goodbye everyone, and I'll talk to you soon.